Hi. As most of y'all know by now, we've been moving. Boy, it's a pain. When you just get, you know, day and a half or whatever to get a bunch of stuff done every week, and then you have to go back to work and everything. But that's why I've been uh, remiss to do my work, which is to do videos to teach people God's Word and how to use it in practical life. I'm not going to get up here and just say, like so many people do these days, God is love. A kind, loving God will not sentence you to an eternity in hell. He's not a bad boy. He's just been mistreated. Well, got a flash for you. He probably is a bad boy. Like I said the other day, when people do criminal acts, they need to suffer criminal consequences. People that say that, oh, little Billy, notice not little Johnny, little Billy is, he's just been led down the garden path by some of his evil companions and blah, 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 blah. Well, I hate to tell you this, parents, but it's your job to keep him away from those evil companions. You need to get involved in your children's lives. Like my son put a thing on there here a while back about, you should teach your children sports and stuff and get involved in as a coach. Uh, Things like that, and that's very true. You need to be involved in your children's lives. They weren't brought here just for you to go, oh, look, we got another tax deduction. Your children are here, they're your responsibility. You have to teach them right from wrong. Don't expect a teacher to try to do it 6 years into their life when you should have been doing it all along. And then, of course, what happens? Oh, Mrs. Johnson, she's mean to my little boy. My little boy didn't do anything wrong. She has no business spanking him. The principal shouldn't spank him. He's not a bad boy. Well, I hate to tell you this, folks, but you have fallen down on your job if that's the way you act when your children are in school. Sorry, but I'm dry as a powder house. Okay, like when I was in school, if a teacher came, sent a note home with me, little Billy, yeah, I don't know. In this case, it is little Johnny. Uh, did something in school today that I think he needs to get a spanking for. Uh, he got in a fight, blah, blah, blah. My mother would look at that note, grab the nearest instrument of death, belt, 2x4, extension cord, bullwhip, whatever she could get her hands on, and she'd grab my arm and go to wailing on me. And then after she got done, she'd say, now, what happened? Oh, you really didn't do anything? Oh, well, but you was probably planning on it. And the part is, she was right. So the point is, spare the rod, spoil the child. You need to take responsibility for your actions, not just your children's actions. And that thing about God is love, well, yeah, God loves you. He doesn't want you to go to hell. You make that choice. He does not make that choice. And I'm fixing to show y'all a couple of things here, and then I'm going to get off. because it's up in the night and I really need to go back to bed. And I've got to get some more sleep tonight and try to get some stuff put up tomorrow. And, I have to be able to help Beth and everything. So just got a couple of things for you that I'm gonna show you. And please show these to your pastors, your Sunday school teachers. And by the by, when they have a Sunday school teachers meeting at your church, you should attend that. Not just your school, public school, which in my opinion isn't a public school. It's an education camp for the most part, in the larger towns. A lot of the smaller towns are still like they were when I was a kid. But, like you go to Chicago, St. Louis, stuff like that, those people, they've got a hard row to hoe trying to teach those ungrateful little punks. And that's what they are. And the reason they're ungrateful little punks is because you, as parents, did not teach them. There's two things that people have really fallen down on the job for in today's society. And one of them is broken homes. It's real easy to get with somebody and then you go, well, I thought she was better than that, or I thought he was better than that. And now all of a sudden, you don't want anything to do with him. But you've got children. People say all the time, well, you need to stay together for the children. Well, that's not always the best thing. But if you do what you need to do before you get married, and I wish somebody had taught me this years and years ago, you need, first of all, to be a Christian. I'm not talking about a pew warmer. I'm not talking about somebody that goes to church on Sunday morning, maybe even Sunday evening, Wednesday evening, and just sits there like a bump on a log. All them things come in here and bounce off and go off somewhere over there. You need to let them go in here, and down into your heart. You need to pay attention. Your pastor has a hard job just like your teachers do. Why? Because people don't listen. They should, but they don't. Now, here's the thing. Even if you didn't do this, you should still try to work these things out. I know a lot of people that know me are going, he said, what? And it's because I've been divorced. I messed up just like many of you have. But the thing is, it's not too late for some of you. You should still try to work these things out. First thing you need to do is get some biblical counseling. Now, when you go to a church, you don't need to sit there like this. Yeah, I've heard that 1,000 times. We didn't listen the other 1,000 times, did you? You need to listen. Let it go in here, and into your heart. First thing you need to do before you go to counseling is to pray and soften your heart so that stuff will enter in. And you don't need to play that blame game either. Well, I wouldn't get drunk all the time if you weren't all the time texting people on your phone, and then you won't show it to me. Well, okay, he's got a point. But what about you? Do you have a point? I'm texting people and trying to find somebody better than this guy because he gets drunk all the time. He's mean to me, he's mean to the kids. You need to try to put a stop to this stuff, people. You don't need to just keep on going like nothing's happening and just turn a blind eye to what's going on. You have responsibility to your spouse just like you do to your children, and you better start it if you haven't already, if it's not already too late. But the problem is, many of you won't do that. Now, the thing that a lot of people don't understand is quite simple. We can't make other people change. If you get with somebody that needs to be changed, you better have a box of diapers. All right? Because you're not going to be able to change them. You don't need to marry somebody first rattle out of the box. You don't need to go, well, I like that guy. Well, he's looking good. He's got a job. Okay, well, those things are good. I'm not saying they're not. But, and the guy's going, man, that is one hot mama right there. Really? That's what you want to base your marriage on? You better start paying attention, people. And, like if this guy that you're so in love with wants to go to the bars all the time, that's not going to work in real life and down the road. And if she's all the time texting other people, trying to find somebody better while she's with you, that's not going to work either. So what you need to do is put your phones down, push your friends away, and talk to each other. Find out what's important to you. If what's important to you is going to church, and it's important to the other person, and that's your big emphasis in life, then you're going to be okay, I think. Not necessarily, because it's still up to you, but here's the thing. If the most important thing in your life is having a fast car, that's not a way to build a marriage. And if you're a woman and the most important thing to you is having a guy that has a job where he makes plenty of money and you can go out and spend it foolishly, that's not a good way to build a relationship either. You need to find out. You need to take your time, and you need to get this done. Now then, I'm going to show you a couple of things here that most people have never heard of, or if they have, but you need to listen. Now then, I've got a fan on over there, so I can't keep my Bible pages from fluttering. So once again, I've got my laptop in front of me. So it makes it easier. But there's a passage in Deuteronomy 21, starting at verse 18. This is some of that kind, loving God stuff. This is God's instruction to the people. Starting at verse 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Now, gluttony doesn't have to mean food. Think about that. There was an old sign that I saw back years ago. It said this was the title of a book. Use it up, wear it out, eat it all. And the author's name was Do Lust a Lot. Well, you can lust after a bunch of women too. That's gluttony. Now then, he is a glutton and a drunkard. And this is verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. A lot of people think that back in the old days, whenever they would have a public hanging, that, oh boy, that was a fun day. Everybody would get their picnic baskets and go down to the courthouse square and watch these people do a two-step at the end of a rope. And, oh, that's nice entertainment. That is not the reason why they had public hangings. You go down there, you take your kids down there, and you show them, now look, you steal a horse, you kill a man, you steal cattle, you, rape a woman, you rob a bank, whatever these people did, and that will be you. That's what it was about. And people need to go back to that. People go, well, that's mean. Well, I don't think he was very nice, was he? Now then, this is verse of the day, which works right in here. And this is from Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14 in the King James, of course. Enter you in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. There's a thing that somebody put on, a book, I don't know, long time ago, I remember this, and it said, where it's talking about, of course they did it a little differently, there's a stairway to heaven and there's a highway to hell, and that's probably because of expected numbers. Did that sink in? Just like this here, and few there be that find it. You need to pay attention, people. And you Sunday school teachers, I'm going to tell you all something. And you need to show this to your pastor too. 8-year-old kid in Sunday school, and he's sitting there coloring a picture of a whale or an ark with a bunch of little animals on it and stuff. You ain't doing him right. You need to start teaching him about life. Not about all those cute little stories in the Bible. You need to start teaching him what those Bible stories mean. All right, love y'all. Sorry this has been so long in coming, but needs to be done. Love y'all. We'll see you later. Bye.